When Earth is occupied by alien forces, people begin to show their true colors. How far would you go to defend your planet? Welcome back to Cinesynthesis. Sit back and enjoy the show. Chicago is one of many cities targeted by the 2019 alien invasion. The police have been instructed to cooperate with the invaders, but Officer Drummond refuses to go down without a fight. Trying to take his family out of the city, he finds himself trapped in a tunnel and face to face with an alien. From the back seat, Raphael and Gabriel watch their parents get instantly vaporized. It's not long before the alien race takes over the entire planet. Our leaders team up with them instead of protecting their fellow humans. The central area of each major city is walled and deemed off-limits to most of the human population. Underground facilities are built in these closed zones where the aliens' habitat is recreated to make them more comfortable. All of our natural resources are handed over in exchange for power and protection to the lucky few. 9 years after the invasion, Gabriel is trying to lead a normal life with his girlfriend, Rula. But his connection to Raphael makes him a person of interest to the aliens and their supporters. His older brother died during a failed attempt to bomb Chicago's closed zone. Now he is seen as both a martyr for the revolution and a reminder of its dangers. Detective Mulligan is one of the people in charge of preventive surveillance. He is now suspicious of a particular drawing connected to the word Phoenix. While tracking the symbol, he gets to a familiar part of town and decides to see his friend, Priscilla. She runs the oldest kind of business there. The presence of Commissioner Igo at such an establishment doesn't go unnoticed by the detective. Once inside the room, though, he begins to hesitate and bravely resists temptation. Priscilla doesn't take it personally. She even gives him a small gift box before he leaves. At work, the detective has a hard time pitching his theory. The authorities are convinced that the resistance is gone. Raphael was the last of the anti-aliens. Mulligan's board begs to differ, but his partner refuses to listen. An active cell operating right under their noses would be a threat to their jobs, to say the least. But Mulligan is right, as we see in a discreet exchange between two rebels. They are using ads to communicate and relay instructions from the movement's new leader, a person they call Number One. Their next target is Soldier Field, where a huge pro-alien event is about to happen. The second man is followed by a swarm of drones, but he still manages to pass on the details to a hooded man hiding in a bus. Meanwhile, Gabriel is arriving at his workplace. A robotic voice announces his arrival after his chip is detected. Every human has one of those now, which is how the authorities keep track of individuals. Gabriel's job is pretty much to violate the privacy of Chicago citizens, cataloging their private files into a giant database where the authorities can check for anti-alien behavior. At the cafeteria, a friend is nice enough to roll a cigarette for him. We can see a series of numbers written on the paper she used. Gabriel quickly hides it behind his ear. The news on the TV is all about the upcoming Unity rally at Soldier Field, celebrating one more anniversary of the alien rule. Thousands of cooperative humans have been invited, and rumor has it that a few aliens might show up too. When the workers leave the building as a block of sad faces, the drones begin their deadly ballet above them. A lady is singled out and taken away by masked men, despite her protesting that she hasn't done anything. That's not uncommon, unfortunately. Suspects of anti-alien activity are detained without a chance to defend themselves and immediately deported off-planet in one of those ugly ships. Still investigating the Phoenix symbol, Mulligan picks up Gabriel at the first opportunity. This is not a typical interrogation because Gabriel's father used to be Mulligan's partner. So the tone is friendly, but the content is the same. He says that cooperation is the only way to avoid having the same fate as his older brother. Gabriel refuses to share anything. After that, he meets a bearded man and tries to sell him that cigarette. But the man makes him get in the van instead. He also puts a collar around his neck to neutralize the tracker before driving over to Wicker Park. That's where the rebellion was crushed by the aliens once and for all. Or so he thought. The bearded man points at the house where he must deliver the cigarette. To Gabriel's complete surprise, his brother Raphael is there. The emotional reunion soon turns into an argument. Too traumatized to get involved again, Gabriel explains that he was passing on that cigarette only for the cash. He plans to leave the city with his girlfriend and build a better life in the countryside. On the other hand, Raphael is ready to strike again now that his chip has been removed and everyone thinks he's dead. Gabriel asks him about number 1 and the Phoenix, but all he says is that something big is about to happen. Not judging his little brother's cowardice, he even gives him some cash to get away. His only warning is that he must leave today. Gabriel gets home and tells Rula to pack. Not knowing that Mulligan had bugged him in the car, he reveals that his brother is alive and pretty much repeats everything he said. Rula is furious and refuses to go with him. Trying to escape right before a terrorist attack is almost a confession. Mulligan is waiting for him in the street. Realizing what he's just done, Gabriel runs from him and puts on the collar, interrupting the signal. Meanwhile, that piece of paper from the cigarette is traveling via pigeon post. It gets to a rebel cell where hackers have access to the surveillance system. Using the code, they get the identity of number 1's chosen target, the mayor's deputy. Then, they send a kid to a payphone. Calling the Chicago Herald about a classified ad, that boy triggers a chain reaction that includes a specific song being played on the radio. People in different parts of the city stop what they're doing as soon as they hear it. Soon, they are all in the same room, waiting to get their chips removed. One of them is a priest named Eddie. He takes Raphael to see someone who provides them with a unique weapon. Made of organic material and without detectable chemicals, the gooey substance can get past any scanner. Much cooler than that is the fact that it behaves like a chameleon, blending into the background when attached to something. In a nightclub's back room, the rebels gather for the final instructions. A girl is wearing a Christian symbol, but the priest tells her to take it off. It's not the moment to upset the aliens. Each one of them is given a pill to make sure that they won't be captured alive. At Soldier Field, an insufferable host is praising our alien lords to a crowd of bootlickers. Mulligan is watching the live transmission attentively. The rebels have no problem getting past security with their fake chips. Strategically positioned, they quickly locate the mayor's deputy. It becomes clear why number 1 chose him. The anticipated alien participation in the event was just misleading marketing. They are here, but they're not coming to the surface. The deputy will have the honor of representing the Earthlings in person. Right before he meets his terrifying superiors, the chameleon explosive is mounted on his back by Raphael himself. The human delegation goes up in flames a few seconds later, taking several aliens with them. When the transmission is interrupted, Mulligan doesn't have to wait for more information. Funnily enough, he takes a moment to open that gift from Priscilla, and it turns out it's a cell phone. A city-wide lockdown is put in place, and the rebels are hunted down one by one. Some of them panic and betray their friends. Some have the chance to take the pill. Most of them die. The aliens are ready to carpet bomb that neighborhood. Mulligan tries to argue that the resistance might be prepared for that kind of response. Wicker Park has taught them a lot about alien oppression. There's probably no one else in that area by now except for innocent people. But Commissioner Igo has lost his ability to make his own decisions long ago. In a nervous rant before reporting in person, he admits that he couldn't care less about that area. They can always find female company elsewhere. Mulligan watches his superior get sanitized to avoid disgusting his betters before going downstairs. Then he goes straight to Priscilla. He wants to run away with her, but she refuses the offer with a sad smile. Now there's nothing left for him to do but terrorize families and force the rebels to snitch on each other. That method eventually leads him to both Drummond brothers. Raphael doesn't even have the chance to take the pill. Mulligan uses their relationship to make Gabriel cooperate. He wants him to infiltrate the rebellion before the aliens dissolve all the useful leads. Using the Phoenix ad and the weight of his last name, Gabriel meets the surviving rebels and demands to see number 1. Monitoring his every move, Mulligan maintains a poker face when the operation leads to Priscilla. She was the elusive number 1, and he has no choice but to give the order. Gabriel is shocked to see the agents break in and eliminate the woman so fast. Mulligan comes in later and covers her with a blanket. An extensive search finds hundreds of tapes full of very interesting stuff. A few days later, Mulligan is speaking at the briefing requested by the aliens. He takes full credit for dismantling the insurgency and informs that every remaining member has been taken care of, one way or another. Priscilla used to be a school teacher before the integration of Earth as an alien colony. She changed her profession on behalf of the rebellion, slowly making her way to high-ranking men who were also a bit lonely. She managed to gain access to all kinds of classified information. Mulligan then plays one of the tapes. The commissioner's voice is instantly recognized by everyone in the room. Besides proving that he was leaking sensitive information, the tape also reveals how pejorative was his language when referring to the aliens. Other officials are also compromised in light of the new evidence. With the help of an interpreter, the aliens ask Mulligan why they should trust him. His own connection to that part of the city is not a secret to anyone. Now, unlike his colleagues, the detective doesn't wet his pants at their obvious suspicion. He answers every question promptly and keeps a calm voice. The aliens make him commissioner right there and then. The Drummond brothers, however, are the small details that he conveniently left out. While Raphael is deported to another colony, his brother is kept as an informant against his will. He's even paid for his services with a video file. It takes him a few moments to understand what he's watching because it was recorded before his birth. His parents are having a party. Mulligan and Priscilla are there too, and they all seem to be close friends. It's shocking to see that they look like completely different people when they were happy. And that's when Gabriel finally understands that the plan never failed. Detective Mulligan is the plan. Just like Priscilla intended, he is the one getting sanitized now. As he descends into the closed zone, we can see that he is covered in chameleon explosives from head to toe. And that's a wrap. Make sure to check out more of our sci-fi recaps. Thank you for watching.